Hey guys, Slimber here with the neck beard. I literally just shaved a fucking week ago. All of this off and it's fucking back. But anyways, we're doing a video on Ben fucking Shapiro. Uh, some people really like these because Ben Shapiro's a fucking idiot and it's really fun to point this out. I like doing these, but he is crying about somebody saying they prefer abortion over adoption. I personally haven't been adopted before. I've been in the foster system before. Uh, I could technically bring on a guest who's been adopted. That would be my mother, but I'm not gonna really put the effort into doing that. I would rather just fucking debate him. So let's get right into this, shall we?
There's an absolutely delusional and insane psychotic article today from Elizabeth Spears, who's a Democratic digital strategist. It's called I Was Adopted. I know the trauma it can inflict. That's right. The left is so addicted to abortion that now they're going to pretend that adoption is bad.
Ben Shapiro, once again, too busy worrying about his feelings to worry about the fucking facts. Here's the deal, right? Yes, adoption, I guess, could be a better option depending on how your life turns out through adoption. However, there are still negative effects to adoption. A lot of kids end up feeling unwanted, depending on how old they are when they are adopted. Things might not end well. They might end up in foster care. I can explain my experience with foster care in a bit. Wasn't great, but it wasn't the very worst. I also have brothers who were in foster care who also didn't exactly have the greatest experience with foster care. But to let you know, there are kids that end up getting raped in foster care or molested because a lot of the foster homes, don't get me wrong, there's some good foster homes out there. There are some people that genuinely care about these children, but a lot of them are either really weird fucking people who haven't done shit enough to get fail a background check, or B, fucking they just want money.
That's how addicted to abortion they are. They're trying to remove all other possibilities. So no marriage, no birth control, no abstinence before marriage, and now adoption is bad and creates conflict. Here is Elizabeth Spears. This is just psychotic crap. It truly is psychotic. Quote, on Wednesday, as the Supreme Court heard oral arguments from state attorneys seeking to uphold Mississippi's 15-week abortion ban, Justice Amy Coney Barrett kept getting at one question. Why was abortion necessary when women who do not want to be mothers can simply give up their babies for adoption? Again, this is an op-ed in the New York Times. As an adoptee myself, I was floored by Justice Barrett's assumption that adoption is an accessible and desirable alternative for women who find themselves unexpectedly pregnant. She may not realize it, but what she is suggesting is that women don't need access to abortion because they can simply go do a thing that is infinitely more difficult, expensive, dangerous, and potentially traumatic than terminating a pregnancy during its early stages. Wait, hold on. More difficult, dangerous, and potentially traumatic to whom?
I'm Ben Shapiro. I don't understand basic concepts because my family was very rich. My cousin is a famous actress who fucking hates my guts, and I can't sexually please my wife.
Listen, Ben, right? Not everybody has the best experience with getting adopted, right? Some people do. Some people end up getting adopted by very nice families. Some people don't. Some people don't get adopted and end up in foster care. Sometimes that's because there's just not a family for fucking everybody. And because of people like you, Ben, here's the thing, right? You can look up, there's videos of Ben online saying that he opposes gay people being able to adopt children. So, for ideas like Ben's, there's even less families out there for them. Or they end up with a really shitty family who treats them like shit.
The entire left-wing position rests on the complete dehumanization of a preborn child.
Ben, your entire ideology revolves around fucking over poor people. Your entire fucking ideology is about getting the rich richer and the poor poorer. And I guess it's a little off topic here, but I'm going to add this in. You're not fucking pro-life, Ben. I went on a rant on, I want to say Snapchat, a couple months ago, and I'm going to repeat basically what I said here. If you are not for a full fucking nanny state, if you are not for universal health care, universal basic income, universal pre-K, if you are not for fucking making sure all these kids are fed, making sure every fucking adult is fed, you're not pro-life. You are pro-poverty. Because if you do not give a shit about the kid once it's born, you are not pro-life. You are pro-fucking poverty.
That's what it rests on, right? Oh, it's so dehumanizing. I mean, here we have an option where the kid lives and just goes to another family that wants a baby, or we have the option of you stab it in the face.
Ben, that's not what happens. They don't fucking stab him in the face. And as I already brought up, not all these kids get to go live with another fucking family. Ben, not all these kids are that fucking lucky. And because of people like you, who don't want, say, gay people or lesbian people to be able to adopt kids, there's even less of a chance. There'd be, with your own beliefs, I think they can adopt kids now. Can they? I think they can. It's just like the churches that try to prevent them. But you protect those churches. So you and those churches provide even less of a fucking chance of those kids getting a family.
Those are the two choices. And, I got to say, it's really dehumanizing to say that maybe the baby should live and go to another family, says Elizabeth Spears. And she's writing as an adopted kid. So how does she make that case? Because if her mother had made that choice, as Ronald Reagan used to say, the only pro-choice people who exist are people whose mothers chose otherwise.
Ben, that is the biggest no shit statement. That's the biggest no shit statement of all fucking time. Thanks, Captain Obvious. But your fucking supporters probably think it was genius. Here's the thing, right? It's a shit response because trauma it's kind of a subjective thing. Whether it's so fucking bad you would rather die than have to think about it again, or it's not that bad you would rather live, is a subjective point of view. All of our minds work different unless it was like,
I don't like Dr. Pepper, and if I have to drink it again, I'd rather die.
but at that point, I'd assume you were exaggerating. This is kind of the same type of argument that the anti-suicide people make when they say,
Oh, if you kill yourself, you won't be able to experience the good things in life.
and it's like, yeah, but you also won't be able to experience the bad things in life. Just like with this, yeah, you might not be alive, but you also will not be able to suffer or deal with anything really bad in your fucking life because you won't have a life.
Right? As an adoptive mother herself, Justice Barrett should have some inkling of the complexities of adoption and the toll it can inflict on children as well as birth mothers. But she speaks as if adoption is some kind of idyllic fairy tale. My own adoption actually was what many would consider idyllic. I was raised by two adoptive parents, Alice and Terry, from the time I was an infant, and grew up in a home where I knew every day I was loved. A few years ago, I found my biological mother, Maria, and three siblings I didn't know I had via a DNA test and Facebook. The first time I spoke to Maria on the phone, says Elizabeth Spears, she lives in Alabama, not too far from my parents. I live in Brooklyn. She apologized repeatedly for giving me up, told me she loved me, and I would always be her family. You are blood, she would say later. I told her and continue to tell her every time she brings it up, the apology is unnecessary. I had a wonderful childhood. I believe she made the right decision. But she remains heartbroken about the years we missed together. Okay, so question. She remains heartbroken about the years we missed together. You know what years you would have missed together had she chosen to flush you down a toilet? All of them. There would be no years together. And guess what? Her heartbreak over giving you up for adoption, that is a downside risk to the massive upside of you being alive to write this op-ed.
Once again, Ben mentioning the thing we all obviously fucking know. Are you going to come with any substantive responses, or are you just going to keep saying,
hey, did you know that if you were dead, you'd still be dead?
This is such insane stuff. Okay, so back to this piece, again, in the New York Times, about a woman who was adopted, but thinks adoption is not the option when it comes to adoption versus abortion. Quote, both Maria and my mom, Alice, oppose abortion on religious grounds. My mom is white and Southern Baptist. Maria is Hispanic and Pentecostal. Both like to point to me to justify their beliefs, saying that had Maria gotten an abortion, I would not exist. It's a familiar argument. The anti-abortion movement likes to invoke Nobel Prize winners who might never have materialized, or potential adoptees who might have cured cancer if they hadn't been aborted at 8 weeks. I'm no Nobel Prize winner, but I still resent being used as a political football by the right. I noticed that you're here to resent it. That's the thing I noticed. You're here to resent being used as a political football because you're not dead. That's what it was.
Here you go, guys. Ben Shapiro, the destroyer of libtards, fucking just stating the goddamn obvious before she's even made an argument. He's not even Like, you can't even say he's making an argument because she hasn't even made one for him to fucking dispute. She hasn't even made an argument for him to dispute. And he's acting like a fucking 5-year-old, being like,
Hey, did you know if you were never born, you'd be never born? You would never be born? You wouldn't be able to do things you'd be able to do if you were born?
no fucking shit, Ben. God, no wonder you thought women couldn't get fucking wet.
The things I noticed. I believe that abortion is a form of health care and that every woman should have access to it if she needs it. Oh, do you? I love these sorts of euphemisms. I believe that murder is a form of cooking.
Is it not? Look, man, I love me some meat. Give me the meat.
Hey, yo!
But the thing is, if I'm cooking like a live lobster, if I kill a cow or a deer to fucking eat it, is that not... How is that not murder?
Just fill in the blank with some random, completely bizarre non sequitur. I believe that abortion is a form of sport. I believe that abortion is a form of art. I believe that abortion is a form of calligraphy. Like, what the... Healthcare for whom? Not the person you're killing. Perhaps more than that, I resent the suggestion by people like Justice Barrett that adoption is a simple solution. I resent it on behalf of Maria, who found the choice she made traumatizing and still feels that pain 44 years later. Even when an adoption works out well, as it did in my case, it is still fraud. Wait, so let me get this straight. You are alive to resent the adoption of you on behalf of your mother, who wanted to give you up for adoption and is happy she gave you up for adoption and feels morally blessed that you are alive and that she didn't murder you. But you resent that you are alive on behalf of the mother who is happy to keep you alive so that you could lead a good life where you end up as a Democratic strategist pumping out garbage like this for the New York Times. Honest to God, this is like a bizarre time loop from Back to the Future 2, in which you're alive to complain about the fact that you are alive.
She hasn't even fucking said that. She has just said so far that adoption is not a simple solution. And she's not fucking wrong, Ben. You fucking retard. Hey, how about instead of just talking real fucking fast through it, stop and think about what she's saying. Oh, that's right. If you stop and think about what she's saying, if your fucking dumbass supporters stop and think about what you're saying and maybe slow it down a little bit, they'll all realize you're fucking retarded. Okay, here's where we're gonna end the video. It looks like he's not actually gonna make a fucking point. He's not gonna actually argue against anything. He's just gonna say,
Hey, if you were dead, you'd be dead. Haha. If you weren't alive, you wouldn't be alive.
he's going to point out the obvious because he's a fucking idiot. This is really who conservatives think is a smart guy? This is who they think is some fucking genius? Some great debater? The guy who can't even fucking respond to an argument? Really? Alright. Leave a dislike. Slimber out. Shit, I forgot. RIP the dislike button. I guess you can leave a normal fucking like, since nobody can fucking see the fucking dislike button. Except me, apparently, but that wasn't the point of this.